Hey, Katie Johnson here, and today we're going to talk about a specific product from the January to June catalog. It's this one right here. If you don't have a copy of the catalog, let me know. I will get you a copy. I'm going to turn my camera down. We're going to talk today about Sweet Conversations. I want to show you the stamp set, but I want to show you the dies because I think these dies, there's so much going on. It's real easy to get overwhelmed and just not even know what to do with all of them. So I want to show you some ideas. Okay, this is the catalog, and we're going to start right here. Okay, so here's two words, the word sweet and the word bundle. Today I'm going to talk to you about a bundle, but I'm going to start by showing you a suite. So a suite is a whole bunch of product that all goes together. And Stampin' Up! Has the bundle that I'm going to talk to you today as part of a larger suite of products that all coordinate. So I'm going to show you these things really quickly, again, because I think sometimes we focus on a quick visual on a stamp set and then overlook the rest of what's on the page. I'm going to start with this ribbon. Easy to overlook because we all have red ribbon, right? This one is called a faux, wait, you can't see that. It's called a faux linen ribbon. And the thing that's different about this is it's got a real, I almost want to call it a scratchy or a homespun feel to it. It's a little bit more of an open weave. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but I would not call this an elegant ribbon, like a really fancy ribbon. Not that I wouldn't use it on a fancy project, but it feels a whole lot more homespun to me. So anyway, this is a different ribbon, and if you're looking for a red ribbon, this is a great ribbon, and it ties really nicely. The next thing I'm going to show you really quick that's on the same page is some self-stick little rhinestones. Well, actually, they're not rhinestones. They call them gems or jewels. Actually, they do call them rhinestones. They're faceted, so I guess that makes them a rhinestone. But they come in 3 different sizes here, and you can see that some of them look a little bit more pinkish with blue and purple. Some of them look a little more blue and purple. In other words, they don't all quite look exactly the same, but they all have hints of pink and maybe a little pale papaya and definitely some softer purples and as well as a little bit of harder purple in there, darker purple. Anyway, these are a real pretty thing to catch the eye of someone when they're looking at your project and their self-stick. So this might be something to add to a list just to try it. It's a lot of fun, has lots of possibilities, goes with lots of colors. The next thing I'm going to show you is these little boxes right here. So this comes as a package of 10 with Valentine's coming up and or with an occasion where you needed to give little favors, maybe do treat boxes for a shower or a wedding or something. These are great. So these are pre-scored. I think you can see the score lines on there. It's really easy to take these things and fold them up and create your box. And look at this. It even comes with the adhesive on there. So it's not like you even need to buy any special kind of adhesive to put these things together. And as you're watching me do this and kind of looking at the size of my hand compared to the size of the box, you can begin to think about the kind of things that would fit in this size of a box. And of course, you'd pull the strip off to get the adhesive. You'd pop these things on the inside, and this would pop, whoops, put these on the outside and those little tabs on the inside. And now you've got a little box that you can fill from the top. So start thinking about cookies, jewelry, little baby booties, candy, of course, all kinds of things that could fit in here to do a sweet little treat for someone, and then just fold these things top and close it up, and you are ready to go with giving someone something. Of course, you've got this size of a surface, and so you can think about how you would decorate that. Okay, these come 10 to a package. By the way, all of this stuff is found on page 9 of the catalog. So the other parts to this suite include an embossing folder here, which gives a nice little gingham background look, and some designer paper. I'm going to show you the designer paper, and then we're going to take a look at this bundle. All right, this designer paper is specifically geared towards Valentine's. And so let's take a quick look at this designer paper, and then we're going to take a look at the dies. This one looks like the candies, with the hug me, text me, BFF queued up. On the other side of it is just similar words, and those words are in English, French, and German. I love you. This is heart suckers. And on the back of it, just some little red spots. Makes a great background for cards. And of course, the background doesn't have to be for Valentine's Day. This side full of lots of great Valentine candies and suckers. On the back side, oh, is this beautiful? beautiful pink marbled paper. Isn't that gorgeous? And if you look really close, if you're a scrapbooker, you might think hearts when you look at something like this, so maybe for a wedding page, but not necessarily. It's just a beautiful marbled background. This one is lots and lots of hearts, makes a good background for a card project or scrapbook page. Background on this one is some stripes, which can go either direction, and this is just generic. This doesn't have to be for Valentine's at all. I'm looking at this and all of a sudden I'm thinking about chickens, and the colors on here are the same colors you would see in a hen, so maybe a farmyard scene and a little decoration for that. This one has hearts in lots of different colors. And then here's the background that you see here. It's just all tiny and reproduced in the background on this piece of paper. The back side of this one is rows and rows of hearts, which would look good if you did it vertical on a card as well. This one again, lots of different cards in lots of different colors. And the images that you see for these hearts down here kind of match up with some of the images that are in the stamp set with these spots and with the little stripes. And then the back side of this one is again a stripe pattern, and again that can go either direction on a card. So let's go back to this piece of paper and talk about these three larger dies in the die set, because they are actually geared to die cut out parts of the artwork from the paper. Isn't this cool? Here's the larger one, and it fits this larger heart. So you got pink ones, yellow ones, the Bermuda Bay, and the grape one. This is the fatter one, and there's ones in here that it's geared to go out with. Had to search for just a moment to see it. And then this is that one that's taller than it is wide, and again there are ones that are the right size to cut out with that. Okay, so that's this piece of paper, but you can die cut out these cute shapes and then decorate your card with things that you didn't even stamp. So even if you don't have the stamp set, the paper works with the dies, which is really cool and awesome. Yes, this one actually you can use these smaller dies here, but it's going to look goofy because you got that stick from the sucker showing through. This one I played around with a little bit, and you can make something really nice with a little striped looking heart over here. And actually this one could fit on here too to die cut it out. It's large enough that you could get a couple of cute different hearts out of that. Let's see what else. Well, that one you wouldn't really want to die cut anything. This one, I thought it was really interesting depending on what kind of look you're going for. It frames it nicely. So you could die cut out and get a little bit of a pink background around the outside and a little bit of the red in there. What's the other one down here? Oh, that one. This actually, if you wanted, this might look interesting because you got a little bit of what looks like light reflection. Let's see if I can pick this up. You see how you can see that light reflection on the edge of the heart? The rest of them, you've got hearts on top of hearts, so it is less impressive. But if you lay it over some of these, you could get something that's got a very watercolor look to it when you die cut it out. So lots of opportunities to play with the dies by themselves and also to play with the dies with the designer paper. Okay, so this is some really fun designer paper. The designer paper packs, it's just a regular pack, so it's only $11.95, and oh my gosh, you can get tons of cards out of a pack of paper like that. All right, let's go to the reason I'm talking to you today. Let's talk about this stamp set and this die set. In the catalog, again, if you don't have one, shoot me a message and I will make sure that you get one. But in the catalog, you turn the page, and then this next page gives you a close-up of the stamp set and a close-up of the dies. Oh, and by the way, if you didn't know, see how some of these dies are white and some of them just like the X and O are just the image of the stamp, but this one has a white background behind it. It's because these are ones that are specifically designed to work with the dies that are in the die set. So let me pull this in real quick and make sure that you understand what you're looking at here. You're looking at a single stamp that's got a line image with the words in it. It's colored in, which means it works with a die in the die set. And if you wanted to, these two are a match in terms of size, so you could stamp the line image and then come back and stamp a color over it. That's kind of fun. Same thing with these three little ones right here. They line up with a die that would cut a row of 3. Lots of cute things about this stamp set, actually. So you've got the two-step stamping going on with stamp the words and then stamp a color over it. You've got these lines, which could do a great background. There's lots of things that you can do with texture stamps, just sort of geometric image stamps. So you got lines, you got a couple of swirls here that could be flowers, as well as adding pattern to the hearts. And then you've got this X and O. Happy to have you in my life, not necessarily Valentine's, but definitely we have the Valentine sentiment. Okay, let's look at the dies. This is what I have to show you today. So here is my sheet falling apart because I've used it so much, so now the dies have a little bit of curl to them and don't want to stick on the page, but that's okay because I have die cut them all, and this is where we need to take a closer look. Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, just look at all the stuff on that page, and I forgot to glue one of them down. 3 different colors on here. The white is because these are banner type things. So you've got a little banner right here, you've got a larger banner right here, you've got a tag that actually the whole die cuts, and then you've got this thing right here, and I'm going to lose the one that's not attached on. Everything else I glued on, I forgot that one. Can you see the lines that are in here? This embosses little folding lines, which would allow you to fold it up and make a little envelope for your project like you see right here. And then you could take one of these hearts and just stick a little heart in there, or you could stick a little square message. You could stick anything into that spot. Okay, you've got 3 chains of hearts that will be die cut. This is a chain of 5, this one's a chain of 3, this one's a vertical chain of 4. But then, of course, as soon as you cut out that chain, you're going to end up with all the things that were the holes popped out of the hole. So you're going to get 5 hearts out of that one, 4 hearts out of this one, 3 hearts out of that one. So you get a ton of little hearts if you just want to add little hearts to something, or even collect those hearts and make a shaker card out of them. This, which is this piece right here, this does not cut a chain of hearts. It cuts 4 evenly spaced holes that you could use to decorate something. This could look real pretty cut out of like glimmer paper, and then let something else show through from the back side. In addition to that, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 smaller hearts, and then this is a die that cuts 2 together. So what I wanted to show you here is that you get these 1, 2, 3, 4 smaller hearts, and then you also get these 2. Like this one here would be used to cut a hole on your piece of paper. It would cut two heart-shaped holes right vertically next to each other. I have that one glued in that space because I wanted you to know that the holes that are cut here and these additional smaller little heart dies over here, they're a little bit smaller than the holes that are cut, or the hearts that come out of these holes up here. So I glued one of them back in so that you could see that the size on here is not exactly the same size. That's something important to pay attention to if you're doing anything like inlay. And I have a stack of projects over here that I'm going to show you to give you some additional ideas, and I will show you exactly what I mean by inlay. So anyway, there's like just a ton of stuff that you can do with these. Here's one chain of the hearts that I didn't glue on here. It was just left over. All right, let me carefully move this aside. Let me get the dies out of the way. The one that was falling off because I forgot to glue it on, I wanted to show you how they nest. Aspect ratio of height to width on something. You'll notice that there's 3 hearts, and I should have pulled this back in here. There are 3 larger hearts. 1, 2, 3 larger hearts. So these 3 larger hearts, the white one is actually taller than it is wide. This one is wider than it is tall, and this one I would say is pretty much like a square heart, if that makes sense. Height and width are about the same. Anyway, I wanted you to see what it looks like if I nested them. So this one is the larger one, this one is the one in the middle, and then one of these, or one of those, either way, as the one that's in the middle. All right, lots of possibilities here. Let's take a look at some of them. in last week's live on my Facebook page, because I go live on my Facebook page every Monday, this was a little project that I made there, and it was just a little gift card holder, or you could put a little candy treat or something on the inside. So if you're interested in knowing how to make that, be sure you check out on my Facebook page the live from last Monday, or I'll put the date on there because who knows when you're watching this. So anyway, it just ties up really cute like that, but I did make a larger card. This uses the stamp from the stamp set and uses 2 of those little tags, and there's the Happy Valentine's Day sentiment. I did heat emboss that sentiment just to make it pop on the page, but then take a close look at these hearts. Can you see how they're all shiny? So I went over each of these hearts with the shimmery crystal effects. So that makes this a shiny card. Here's a real sweet little Valentine with 2 of the larger hearts from that die set, and then a whole bunch of the smaller hearts, and that real pretty marbled paper back there. And this one just says, happy to have you in my life, so it doesn't have to be a Valentine card. There's a whole row of the card, the Valentines, pink and purple alternating. And this one, yep, it's the heart. Can you see that it's the bottom of that heart? I just cut it off to turn them into candy kisses. And then I used that small tag up here with vellum to make like the little pull thing that helps you open up the candy kisses. This is some of that matching designer paper. And then there's that X and O and X. For this one, I used all of the little dies. I used the large one, medium-sized one, small one, and then a couple more of the other small ones, and just cut holes and then put colored paper behind it so that they would show. And then I raised the whole thing up on dimensionals because it just worked better that way with the papers behind it. And then I was trying something new down here. I double stamped the sentiment. Let's see if I can do that. There you go. See how I double stamped it? So it's black, but then I overstamped it with the red, so you get just a little hint of the red showing through there. Okay, this is what I meant by inlay. So I took my white card and I die cut the row of the hearts. And then I die cut individual hearts out of all the different colors. And then I put that string, the chain of the hearts, right back into its hole and then filled it in or inlaid it with the colored hearts. So there's one idea for doing a very sweet, simple card that doesn't have too much going on it. This is the one that cuts the chain of 3. So it's this little one right here. And again, I cut it out of the black, used the black stuff on something else, cut it out of white, and then inlaid it, and then cut it out of pink and inlaid that. And then here's 3 of those little banners again. And then speaking of inlay, so the vertical one here, let's see, I'm going to make my shown ones over here. So this was my chance to show you all of the new in colors that just came in last April. And then again doing some inlay. So I die cut it out of the purple and put the purple hearts, but put the purple chain over here, and then took the chain from that one and moved. You can tell what I did. I just kind of mixed them all up to show how these 5 colors all really go with each other. If you're unfamiliar with Stampin' Up's in colors, check my Facebook page and I'll have a conversation about in colors. This is again that chain. It's not inlaid. I just die cut the chain and then glued it on top of the black down here, so it's kind of raised up. I don't know if that shows. Oh, I think that kind of shows. It's raised up for a little bit of a pop, and then I inlaid the black chain with the red heart so that it kind of shows up there. And then this one is just a splash of rainbow colors of that stamp, and then the tiny little hearts, one in each color to kind of decorate the inside. So I hope you can see that there is just a lot of possibilities with this Sweet Conversations stamp set and the Sweetheart dies. If you've got any questions, email me, and be watching my Facebook page. If you haven't already subscribed to this YouTube channel, subscribe now if you like this kind of a video where I just come in and show you all the product and give you some ideas for using it. And if you haven't already checked out my Facebook page, definitely follow my Facebook page because you'll see close-ups of all of these posted in various posts throughout the coming weeks. So thank you for watching me. Again, I'm Katie Johnson, and have an ink-credible day.